Hello, is this thing on? The podcast you're about to listen to contains horribly offensive language, crude humor, and countless spoilers for things we guarantee haven't been spoiled for you yet. Listener discretion is advised, especially if you make me angry. You better not fucking piss me off. If you listen to this in public, this isn't safe for work. Get some fucking headphones or something. Want to skip to a specific section of the show? That's awesome! Just look at the episode description. It has timestamps for wherever you want to go. Now sit back and relax, because you want to listen to two fat guys talk.
Carlitos!
Dave?
Carlos and Dave, wrong show. Wrong show. This is not the Carlos and Dave anime rave. This is Two Fat Guys Talk, a refined podcast.
Yes, quite.
Yes, very refined. We don't eat pecans here, we eat pecans. We don't wear pants here, we wear trousers. And we don't take elevators, we take lifts.
And we don't watch a Sonic Underground, we watch Sonic Boom.
Yes, sure, refined. Refined indeed. This is episode 70. 3 E's, the week of somewhat disappointing game stuff. We begin with our preamble and opening banter, where I introduce us and we just talk for a bit. Shout out, shound off, is what I was going to say. Everybody.
Hello.
Hello. And David.
This is the worst podcast on the internet. The worst.
No, I've seen much, much worse.
David, I don't know. I'm just sitting here eating baby ice cream.
Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Oh, it's Kiki.
I'm Poe.
Okay.
And Dave, like usual.
Okay. Alright. We're all very, very enthusiastic.
When you said sound off, I thought you just meant to say hi. I don't know.
Yeah, hi. No context, just hello.
And we don't want to burn ourselves out on the introduction.
No.
We're not. How do you burn yourself out?
How do
You
you
go like,
burn-
hello!
That is kind of wasting some energy for sure. I mean, the last one did start with that whole Babar Trigun thing. Did you write a follow-up yet?
No, not yet.
I need a follow up.
People need follow-ups. So how's everybody doing?
I'm kind of busy now, kind of like tired. I just came from work. I'm like, I feel gross and sweaty. But I can't complain. I'm eating. No, I'm just having a little snack right now while I'm doing this.
Yeah, there are a couple people consuming things right now.
At the moment.
I'm good.
Okay.
Well, I have been working on my cosplay.
Yeah, that's right. You're going to go to Otacon in a month-ish, and we have been hard at work trying to get your PSO character's costume ready. It has been the combined work of some 7-odd people, and a whole bunch of acrylic paint, some foam, plasti dip,
And more paint.
boots, some sewing,
Yes, sewing was involved.
velcroing,
So was car glue.
car glue, super glue, gorilla tape, the best kind of tape,
Painter's tape.
painter's tape, lots of tapes. I've learned there are a lot of tapes. I've had to make a lot of trips to Home Depot for your costume, and I've learned that there are a wide variety of tapes with a multitude of purposes.
Yeah, everything from texture to easy to remove stuff to never going to remove stuff.
Yeah, there's permanent mounting tape.
What?
There's foam weatherproofing tape. There's paper tape. There's lots of tape.
Hey, you know what sucks? Talking about tape.
Yeah, let's move on to our next section, Time Jumps and Fist Bumps, where we talk about games and things that are gaming related. E3 happened this last week.
And is now over.
And is now over, and it sucked. Here to tell us how it sucked is everyone else.
I didn't really hear anything terribly exciting for it, so I was like, just kind of skipped it.
Well, I saw the entire Nintendo presentation. Kind of lackluster. It showed off a little more on the Fire Emblem Mega 10 crossover with some of the Fire Emblem characters being the other main characters' stands or personas or something, because there's Chrom and there's fucking Tiki, who's a little dragon girl in one of the Fire Emblem games.
Okay, I was like, who the fuck is Tiki?
And they also showed more Fire Emblem Fates, i.e. the one where you play as the main character that has to choose between the kingdom he was born to and the kingdom that he was like raised into, because the father of the king of that kingdom was like, you belong to me now, as he takes the baby you from your family. And now it's like, who do you side with?
Here's the thing.
And the Mario montage at the end of Nintendo's E3 sucked. It was boring, and it bored me to tears. I saw that with my friend in Missouri, and I told her, this bores me to tears. But otherwise, Mario Maker stuff looks great, too.
Yeah, Mario Maker was the big standout from Nintendo's.
I disagree. I think Star Fox was.
Oh, yeah, the Muppet opening.
Oh, the puppets were awesome, and those were made at Jim Henson Studios.
Nice. They looked too much like Muppets.
The way they moved was just like, yeah, those are Muppets.
This is like, last year they paid Seth Green for Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
This year I'm pretty sure they paid Jim Henson, especially since they have this Skylanders deal. And
they did.
So they probably got some connections through there. So
they were actually at Jim Henson Studios to have the puppets made of them.
Oh man, this sounds like something I should have watched.
I just look up those sections, but I'm gonna disagree with you on this E3 sucking. I've had a lot of time to think about this, and I mean, I sat through the PC conference, so I had a lot of time to think about this. All 2.5 hours of that.
I skipped that one, and I'm confident I missed nothing. Continue.
It flowed fine. The host wasn't horrible. He just wasn't very good at getting any sort of enthusiasm out of the crowd at all.
That's generally a good sign for your presentation. The host isn't horrible and can't excite the crowd.
But the crowd also sucked.
Oh.
And telling the crowd they suck. Yeah, some of the crowds for these things were either paid or unenthusiastic.
I mean, ultimately, everybody has agreed that EA had the worst conference. And I've now watched it, so I could actually say that. And yeah, they had the worst. Their hosts just sucks.
I didn't see EA's or Ubisoft's or the PC ones. I saw all the others.
Ubisoft actually had their usual, and I don't remember her name. Do you remember the name of the host from last year? The one woman?
I know the one woman. I'm not really an Ubisoft fan. I haven't committed her name to memory. I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
She's probably the coolest part of any Ubisoft presentation.
Pretty close. This year wasn't really disappointing as much as this year they weren't going for the big wow factor, at least as far as the crowd was concerned. I mean, Nintendo did, while it was kind of disappointing, Nintendo did exactly what I've been commenting the E3 should be for. Show me the games that are coming out between now and next E3.
Mm-hmm. Instead of show me games I can look forward to in 2017.
Don't show me Zelda for the Wii U that isn't coming out until late 2017 or early 2017 at its earliest. And Nintendo did that, so I kind of feel bad for crapping on them a lot, because they did exactly what E3 should be for, not announcing games that are coming out in 5 years. Tell me what's coming out between now and next E3.
Well, as I didn't see the EA or Ubisoft ones, I can't comment if they were the worst. Of the ones I saw, I can tell you which one was easily the worst there. They were called Bethesda, and they were terrible.
I disagree with you.
They started...
You don't like Bethesda games.
No, but I also don't like them, and that the E3 presentation really explained a lot why. They're all flash. They're no substance whatsoever.
Of course.
Every single thing about that presentation confirmed that Bethesda cares far more about scope and kind of immersion than they do about actually making sure things work.
And Pip-Boys. Can't forget Pip-Boys.
Can't forget about the Pip-Boys.
Oh, the Pip-Boys! Oh!
Nobody's
I'm
complaining.
gonna smack you like that in a minute.
No, nobody's complaining about the Pip Boys. Nobody's complaining about the Pip Boys.
I don't care about the Pip Boys.
The Pip Boys are fine.
Who are the Pip Boys?
It's that Fallout mascot guy. I had the bobblehead of it once.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
No. Pip Boy is your little console on your arm, Nimrod.
I had the little bobblehead of it, remember?
Those are called bobbleheads, not Pip Boys.
I had a little bobblehead of the Pip Boy.
The guy, he had blonde hair.
Yeah, Pip Boy. Or Vault Boy. One or the other. I'm going to call him Pip Boy. So...
You're an idiot.
So the thing about Bethesda's is they showed Doom 4, and they spent way more time showing off the close-in executions and the gore than showing off the movement and run and gunning, which they showed for all of 3 seconds before they decided to go, hey, remember Brutal Doom? Well, we're kind of like that now. And then they showed off like a teaser for their Hearthstone killer card game.
That was a joke.
They showed concept art and no gameplay, and I'm like, Bethesda, ladies and gentlemen. And then they showed a bunch of Fallout and their Fallout mobile game, and at some point I was like, my eyes were glazing over, and I'm like, is this really happening right now? This is what it has come to?
Yeah, and
they're competing on the mobile market, and this is supposed to draw attention. And they showed a whole bunch of Fallout 4, and they showed that you can't have gay characters, and they showed that you...
No, they didn't.
They showed that...
In fact, I've had it confirmed that they can.
You say that. I've seen no confirmation of this confirmation that it can be done. They showed a whole bunch of Fallout that was like, oh, look at how pretty this game is, and look how just like Fallout 3 it is, and... I stopped Fallout 3 because I was bored to tears, and that conference bored me to tears. So, at the end of the day, I was like, Doom 4 looked like it had promise. I wish somebody who knew what the fuck they were doing was playing it, and the rest of the conference was garbage.
And again, you're not a Bethesda person. You don't like Skyrim or Fallout and everything else. For me, I was pumped about Fallout.
I just explained why I didn't like it, and it's because they didn't show me mechanics of anything. Had they shown me mechanics of things, it wouldn't have mattered if I'm a Bethesda guy or not. I would have gone, well, hey, at least they showed me how it worked. It's not just because I'm not a Bethesda guy, it's because Bethesda blows.
Now, how about that Square-Enix?
Yeah, that was a weird one. That one was,
awkward is the word to use for that one.
It was an awkward... have you seen the Square-Enix one?
I only saw the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer and the World of Final Fantasy trailer.
Okay, so you didn't watch the actual conference.
Great preparation for the podcast, everyone. Just throwing that out there. It was very awkward. It was a combination of old stuffed shirts talking about finances, to the point that I thought they were going to pop out a PowerPoint presentation with pie charts. And then there was weird shits like, there was the CEO of Square-Enix or whoever who was obviously reading from a teleprompter.
Oh.
And he was like, he was trying to do his best English. I get it. The English is obviously his second language. But even if he spoke fluent English, he would have sounded stiff as a board because he was reading so dryly off a teleprompter.
They all were.
And now it's time to get excited for the future of Square-Enix. Like, this is how this guy read his lines.
And again, the crowd. It was like they got everybody who didn't give a damn about Square-Enix games to come to the Square-Enix conference. It was like there was nobody in there that was really
I wanted to watch the Sony presentation, but I had to go here instead.
Yeah. Somebody basically... they would go up, they'd bore you to tears, they'd show a spreadsheet or some shit. They'd show you a trailer for Tomb Raider, there was weak applause, and some other talking head would come up, talk for a bit about nothing, they'd show you another trailer, there was applause, and then a man came up wearing what appeared to be the Zelda moon on his head.
Turns out that's a character from the original Nier game.
And he's up there, completely talking straight. With this giant, and he's there talking, it's like, when we were developing Nier, we were worried about, and he's got this thing on his head! It's like...
It's like if you had your Metroid.
No, it's not even like that, it's like, this thing covered his whole head. It looked like a body with the Zelda moon on it, as the head.
Yeah.
And he's talking straight face like when we were designing the original Nier, we were talking about the experiences of it. So we brought forward Platinum Games. It's like, Platinum Games is doing Nier 2? How many people even know Nier 1 exists and is apparently a sequel to Drakengard, of all things?
I only knew about Nier
hilarious.
from Manly
Look at
Guys
that
Playing
picture.
Manly Games.
Yeah, okay, he's bringing a picture.
Now, how about that Final Fantasy VII Remake? That was the only time where people were like, oh!
Yeah, so the Square Enix things had weird shit like, finally our first look at some playable Kingdom Hearts 3, and I'm like, this is cool and all. The last good game in the series was the original on PlayStation 2, so whatever.
I mean, who the fuck were those?
Signal.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty bad.
Like, who the fuck were those two Bishis playing chess while Donald, Sora, and Goofy were fucking around in the Tangled universe?
Yeah, what the hell was up with those? It's like, oh look, more meandering storytelling from Tetsuya Nomura.
If you look at any of the trailers, though, context is not something that Square Enix has any idea about when it comes to trailers. Can't get it.
Yeah, it's Square Enix was weird.
Yet they showed off games that I'm actually interested for.
They did, and that's the thing. It was a strange combination of boring boardroom meeting, hype trailers, and bizarreness.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest presentation, so I cannot call it the worst. I can't call it the best. It exists outside this dimension in a sphere called weird. It was very weird.
Microsoft's conference.
Microsoft had a dull conference that somehow made me want an Xbox One. It was dull, except the stuff they showed that I liked, the hype stuff, was pretty good. Yeah, you found it. That's the guy. That's the guy.
Yeah.
And when he was talking, it was straight from it's like, when envisioning the design for Nier, we decided what studio would be. And he's like, imagine there's a Japanese exec talking completely straight coming out of that thing.
Oh, yeah. And the
That's
translator?
hilarious.
The translator was the worst translator I've ever seen for one of these conferences.
Yeah, he was reading over, he was screwing up lines, he was kind of there was one whole line he just didn't do.
It was like he got behind, and the guy kept on going, and it's just like, dude, could you do the sentence?
Yeah, Dave and I looked at each other and we're like, is he done? Did he die? Like,
This sounds like it was the best conference.
it is worth a watch.
And it was great for the tweets that I was doing online. It's like, oh look, translator died.
Oh my god, that is so funny.
So yeah,
and then at the end they had everyone who presented up on stage. So you had like the head of IDOS Interactive who makes Tomb Raider, weirdo head moon face man beside him, dry CEO of the company, and all of them. Nobody's breaking whatsoever at all, despite the ridiculousness of this montage.
Again, it was very dry. That guy, at least, through the translator, he kind of had a little bit of passion going on there, but it was very dry. That being said, the games they showed off, a number of them I am interested in. So, yay.
RB.
RB,
the Arbiter. For Halo 5.
Back on the Microsoft.
Yeah, the big highlights for Microsoft are what sold me on it. Halo 5, despite 343 pissing me off, won me back over with Nathan Fillion and the Arbiter and that cool looking intro level. And Gears 4 looks good, and Gears Remaster looks good, and backwards compatibility looks good. And that's all that pushed me over the edge to finally wanting one of these consoles, despite the fact that the rest of their presentation kind of sucked. ReCore. So, apparently the Mighty Number 9 devs found success for it pretty quick, because Microsoft is getting them to make an exclusive AAA Xbox game by Concept and Keiji Inafune called ReCore. They showed this cool concept video of it. It's like this girl and her pet robot dog fighting these evil robots, and like the dog sacrifices itself, but she grabs its core and puts it into the robot, and now it's the robot. And I'm like, oh, this looks good. This looks really good.
Yeah, I saw that one too, but it was the guys who made Metroid Prime.
Yeah, it was. But some of the people. It's not retro. Nintendo owns retro. Some of the people behind Metroid Prime were behind it, but it's still Keiji Inafune and Concept that are heading this one. Because Retro Studios is Nintendo. They're not making no Microsoft games.
That sounds like Secret of Evermore.
No, it's not quite like Secret of Evermore whatsoever.
But like I meant with the dog concept.
Yeah, but the dog, you can take the core out of the robot dog and put it into a robot juggernaut.
If anything,
it's not a dog.
If anything, it's more like that one Zelda game where Zelda could possess things, but it looks a lot better than that so far.
Yeah.
Spirit tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Microsoft's... Oh, and then, of course, there's backwards compatibility.
Yeah, there's finally going to be backwards compatibility for initially select and hopefully expanded 360 titles. And that's a big one because I sold my 360 a while back. And hey, it'll be nice when I get a one to play some of those games I still own and can just download on my Xbox Live account again, right? So
why did it take them so long to do so?
Because it wasn't
it wasn't a priority.
It wasn't even possible to begin with, from what I understand. It's something they wanted to do for an edge, right? Sony's not offering it, and Sony said they're not going to do it for PlayStation 4. So now this is one big area that Microsoft has them on.
And then we go to Sony's. Sony's, for me, was a pretty big letdown with a couple of really good exceptions. But Sony was basically... The tagline should have been nostalgia the show. Because ultimately, that's what Sony rode on. To quote-unquote, win E3.
Everyone and their mother lost their shit over Sony's and said it was the show of E3. Everyone and their mother lost their shit over The Last Guardian.
And for The Last Guardian, I'm watching this, I'm like, wow, I'm bored. Is this serious what The Last Guardian's gonna... Oh god, this is actual gameplay.
Everyone lost their shit over The Last Guardian, the third in a game of boring adventure games that I never cared for.
Part 2 was awesome. Shadow of the Colossus actually was a unique and interesting game.
If you insist. Everyone lost their shit over a remake of one of the most overrated Final Fantasy games ever, although news we would learn later makes me actually kind of excited for this. And everyone lost their shit over Shenmue 3's Kickstarter, which then admittedly earned an impressive $2 million within a couple hours or something.
Yeah.
Which is good for Shenmue.
Which now turns out that Sony's actually also funding it.
You know about that guy, right? How he's been trying to get...
Yeah, he's been wanting Shenmue 3 forever. Let him have it. Let the fans who want a conclusion to the story have it. If it was Mega Man Legends 3, I would have been all over that.
Exactly.
But people still lost their collective shit for what are, in my opinion, only my opinion, 3 unimpressive things to lose your shit over. And the rest of the show did nothing else for me except for Horizon Zero something. Let's just call it Horizon, because the Zero part is a part of its subtitle. Horizon looked good. Had a cool female lead, a female hunter druid type character, hunting machines like they were animals in a post-apocalyptic Earth. Looked pretty cool. Horizon really captured me. Nothing else at the Sony show really got me. What other shows were there? You saw the PC gaming one. And I know that they announced things like Killer Instinct for PC with crossplay, and the Gears of War remaster on PC as well. Which would have been the only 2 takeaways for me.
I mean, that No Man's Sky is also coming to PC at the same time as PS4.
Yes, the Minecraft universe one.
And, you know, I was actually pumped for what they were showing last year. The more they've shown me, the more I'm just kind of like, eh?
It looks technically impressive.
It looks nice, but here's the thing. The reason I got bored with Minecraft and everything else in the end was there was no point. Yeah, it was great as a sandbox that I could build my own crap and just, go around the world, but eventually I need something to actually make a point to everything I just built back there. And No Man's Sky seems to be, at this point, pointless. Yeah, I can fly my ship into space and get involved in space combat, but it looks like the most generic space combat I've ever seen. And then I can fly down into a planet and fight some stuff there and build some stuff, but why am I doing this? What is the point?
That doesn't sound very exciting.
And that's just it. It's just like, okay, guys, why am I doing this?
Minecraft is boring as hell, and people love that, so...
And again, I loved Minecraft for a while there because it was something new and it allowed me to do some creative stuff. But eventually it's just like, okay, I'm done with the Lego. Let's move on.
Oh my god, it was virtual Lego.
It was. It definitely was.
That's such a good analogy, I guess.
Yeah, but each show for Microsoft and Sony at least, this year it was very much all about the games. They didn't go over quarterly finances. They didn't go over...
Square-Enix did a little bit. Sometimes while wearing strange masks.
I said Microsoft and Sony. I didn't add Nintendo in there because they did a little bit. But Microsoft and Sony, it was all about bring the guys out who are doing the game, show the game. Show the game. None of this, we've sold X amount of consoles, or we're number one, blah, blah, blah. No, we've sold billions of this and everything else. It's just, these are the games.
No backstabbing this year.
Oh, there were barbs thrown back and forth, and Nintendo couldn't really say much because they had nothing to go on.
Nintendo was still the best presentation. It's just that it wasn't by a huge margin. I want it to be by a monstrous margin like last time. I want to talk more about Mario Maker. They showed more of it in the World Championships than on the E3 Direct.
Let me assume the position.
Mario Maker, for me, was the standout of the fucking show. This thing, the way objects interact with each other are just... It's just amazing. Like Mario riding a Karubishu, riding a clown car, fighting a tower of baby Bowsers and Kameks. And you can make bullet bill shooters shoot springs, and you can put items on top of enemies, and it'll actually move with the enemy. And you can make objects interact with each other in a really cool way. The game, it kind of looks like if you took Little Big Planet, threw Little Big Planet in the garbage where it belongs, and then had a really good Mario level editor.
Do you like Little Big Planet?
It was enjoyable playing 4 players, only because you have to see just how batshit crazy you could drive other people in the game by not doing what you're supposed to.
I tried so hard to play that with my couple of my girlfriends here.
Yeah.
They were having a blast. I sat there nearly falling asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and there was 3 of us, and I'm just like, oh my god, I don't get it. Why is this game fun? So many of my friends are like, no, just try a whole bunch of mini games with a whole bunch of other people.
No.
I don't get it. I'm like, maybe I'm just playing it wrong.
Nope.
I don't understand.
No, either you really get into it or you don't. I had more fun making my character look completely batshit insane and then going to a level and backhanding people. That's how I found fun from Little Big Planet. I know I was mock snoring there and everything else for Mario Maker. I understand why this is a big thing, because it is a standalone, you can make whatever you want and there's actual kind of scripting going on there. I understand this. It's just, I've grown bored with Mario.
You've grown bored with Mario?
Bored.
I know. And that is understandable as well.
This should have been out 10 years ago.
Oh, this should have been on the Wii.
And
this might have made the Wii not terrible. Because the Wii was terrible.
On PC, people have been doing this sort of thing for years with Mario.
Kaizo Mario, Brutal Mario.
So even custom New Super Mario Brothers levels.
It's just... Yes, it's great that they're now giving people this ability, but you're a decade too late out the gate.
I'd rather have it late than never. I don't think they're too late. They're just way more late than I want them to be.
This isn't going to be a cheap thing. They're going to try and get retail cost out of this game, and I say, fuck you.
A lot of other less worthy games shown at E3 are going to sell for more than Mario Maker.
Anything above $30, there's no chance of me buying this.
Oh, sure, fine. It's still worth more than, I don't know, whatever Call of Duty they showed that'll be $60, $70, or whatever garbage Bethesda peddled that'll be $60, $70. It'll be worth more than that, and it won't even be that expensive, so...
Is anyone asking for Triforce Heroes?
No.
Or Metroid,
Oh yeah, the Metroid Prime Federation game.
I thought the Metroid game looked good until they revealed it's just some multiplayer shooter on the 3DS. I'm like, oh.
Okay.
Okay, great.
But here's the thing.
Graphics look
The whiners who then started that petition to get it destroyed, you've heard about this, right?
Nope. You.
Okay.
Sorry, folks. We had a bit of technical difficulty. So Dave was talking about how fans apparently were like, "How dare Nintendo releases some Metroid Prime multiplayer game on 3DS instead of releasing a proper new Metroid game or something."
Yeah, I mean, I understand the frustration that, we got the Zelda 3DS game that nobody asked for. We get a Metroid 3DS game that, again, no one asked for, that they're just trying to kind of force multiplayer on. But a bunch of whiners then started a petition on petition.com or .org, whatever it is. And it's got like over 12,000 signatures to it now. But here's the thing.
And wait, what's the petition for? To cancel the game?
The game should be canceled and they should start working on something that people want, basically.
Oh.
Nintendo fans are the last people on Earth who should be listened to for any reason.
But here's the thing.
Look at Movie Bob.
Looking at Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, it doesn't matter. Just because you don't want it doesn't mean somebody else won't find enjoyment from it. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's entitlement.
And stop being entitled little fucking babies.
Now, it would be awesome if there was a new Metroid Prime game that wasn't just some multiplayer shooter nobody's going to play, especially since Splatoon just came out and is doing really well.
Unfortunately, I've got to kill any enthusiasm you have for that. They've already said that for another Metroid Prime game to be made, it won't happen until the NX is out.
Sure, whatever. But I mean, the issue is that, like, they didn't need to make a game like this when they just released one. But at the same time, yeah, they're throwing it out there. Like, fans shouldn't act like Nintendo owes them shit. They ultimately don't.
That's so rude, too.
Ultimately, if you want to show Nintendo how much you don't like it, don't buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't... However, that being said, certain companies that we could all mention would then look at that and say, well, the brand is dead.
Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry,
Which is
Mega
funny,
Man.
even though that's not what... that wasn't even what their problem was, but okay. I feel so bad for...
Hey, Capcom is saying that if this Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, which by all rights looks really, really good, doesn't sell well, that they're not going to make more Devil May Cry games. I'm like, well, I hate when companies say this garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're holding their fans hostage and pinning the blame on others except themselves. Like,
Capcom is very much a Japanese company who doesn't want to innovate, and if their old formula's not going to work, they're going to take their ball and go home.
That's not just Japanese companies, though. Look at EA. EA is the very definition of just do what works.
True.
Paul, you're laughing at something?
Sorry, when he said that I was just gonna take my ball and go home, that reminded me of that Simpsons bit when they were at a rec center and Lenny misses a basket shot and he falls on Mo. He's like, hey, that's a foul. I'm taking the ball and I'm going home. Hey, that's not your ball! and then McBain chases after him.
McBain?
Yeah, because he's like, I'm going to tear this rec center down and turn it into a safari where I hunt the deadliest game of all. Man.
Okay, excellent.
And it's like, the hunt begins.
So, that was E3. Does anybody have anything else to say about E3?
We saw a lot of games. Again, Sony's kind of trying to do their whole live on nostalgia thing, which is going to work because a lot of people wanted, for some reason, Final Fantasy VII.
Well,
you know what, though?
We did address that.
You know what? I'm going to bring something that you haven't mentioned yet. But it was after the E3. I'm going to talk about it now because I don't care. You were saying a moment ago how there is actually something to be kind of excited for Final Fantasy VII, and what they announced was that they may make a different take on it.
Yeah, it is a remake. It is not a port. It is not a remaster.
So,
there may be differences. So they are going to put in that Gact character, but maybe there will be cool things like in Gears of War Judgment. They had that scenario that took place well after Judgment in the Gears of War 3 timeline. Maybe we're going to get something after Dirge of Cerberus as kind of a bonus scenario. Please continue.
Or they're going to choose something completely different, like maybe Zack is actually not dead.
Or Aerith lives.
But they're still gonna keep the cross-dressing segment.
No, they're gonna.
Eris is dead.
She's going to die. I know she is.
And we should all be glad. Fuck Eris.
Why do you hate her so much?
Because everyone hyped how Eris dying was the most emotional moment in a video game for them. When video games have had way better scenes than that, including in Final Fantasy VII. The scene where Cloud was remembering, like, his childhood with Tifa and how he was blamed for putting her in danger was way more emotional than Eris was praying and then she was an idiot and Sephiroth killed her.
Why? Oh my god, I was so pissed when that happened. Because I remember I had her and she's like, I'm just gonna go pray, blah, 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 and cast holy. So she left your fucking party, ran to some altar way far ahead of you. Way far ahead. Do you remember that shit? Literally, like, 2 or 3 screens away. Why the fuck did you run all the way there by yourself? You knew Sephiroth was here. Why the fuck would you go by yourself?
Yeah, good riddance to bad rubbish.
Like,
Also, who the fuck has healing limit breaks? I'm a little pissed that there was a whole bar in that
That's
game
so
that was
funny.
about how pissed off you were getting. And when you were at max pissed offness, you could do a limit break that was your character just couldn't take anymore. It was gonna unleash their power. And like, Cloud will stab a thing and
17.
then jump 17 feet into the air and cleave it in half. That's a limit break. Vincent will turn into Satan and then shoot ghosts at people. That is a limit break. Yuffie, after stealing all my materia and putting it back in the wrong order, which I've never forgiven her for, will shoot a giant beam at you and then double up on it by shooting a giant beam from the ground under you. Eris will get so mad that she heals your hit points.
And provides invincibility.
yeah,
Her.
invincibility.
But-
Oh,
I'm
in the
sensing-
easiest game in the series.
I'm sensing a bigger reason for him hating this. Who the fuck leveled her high enough to have the limit break when she died?
Great Gospel was needed for my 100% playthrough.
And bravo.
Even if you didn't get Great Gospel, everyone has these cool limits. Like, Tifa gets mad, does a slot machine thing, and then after you're done the slot machine, she starts kicking a fool. Eris is like, I'm so mad! Poison gone!
So, I remember, no, what am I talking about? I remember. I was going to say, you confused me with that. Anyway, all I gotta say is, please don't touch Final Fantasy VI. I know they said they're thinking of doing 5 and 6 remakes.
They could do 5, but
I don't give a shit about 5. I tried playing 5 and I was like, no.
After seeing what Dissidia did to Terra, what Other M did to Samus.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
why I'm
wa-
like, no, don't touch
You
6.
stay away from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Goodbye.
I will leave. I will be happy with my broken, crappy kind of game that's
Now-
still better.
In fairness, that new arcade Dissidia appears to be completely unrelated to the old one plot-wise. It's like a retake on it,
Okay.
and Terra appears to actually sword fight in it.
Yeah, she
Fair
does.
So maybe they'll fix things there, but
You know what's funny about that? I'm sure I've mentioned it. I'm sure I have, so I do apologize for repetition, but what boggles my mind about that fucking Terra and Dissidia is that even Japanese people are like, no, this is not how Terra was, guys. I didn't care for 6, but what the fuck is this?
she was a mage knight. She should have
Red
been
Mage.
Yeah, no.
No.
A red mage is
Better.
more of a mage than a fighter. Terra was a fighter who knew magic. And personality-wise, she should have been more like Shanoa from Order of Ecclesia, where she was lost and emotionless without combat, because that's all she knew. And they changed it in Dissidia to be that she was a weak little girl and ideal Japanese stereotypical waifu, which is what they did to Samus.
Mm-hmm.
And while we're at that, fuck Movie Bob. Just wanted to throw that out there.
I would pay money to see you take on Movie Bob and what is it called? Novice boxing or
No,
Like
amateur box.
Amateur box.
Okay, I don't want to amateur. I'm not Uwe Ball. I don't want to amateur box anyone.
Yeah.
I don't want to debate the guy either because that would be a waste of my time. I don't teach for free. And I will give him one bit of credit. He hates Gamergate, which any reasonable human being should. This is the minimum bar that any human being should be at, is that Gamergate is garbage. I just don't like him, because he has stupid boneheaded opinions, and he defended Other M, an extremely sexist and stupid game. So...
when the demo for World of Final Fantasy comes out, it's available for PS4 and the Vita, I might give a demo a try. Because I'm not so keen on the chibi main characters suddenly growing to Kingdom Hearts style abominations like their sprites, but I do like the notion of having little tiny chocobos or behemoths or Magitech armors on your team. Or summoning little clouds or warriors of light.
That is cute, but the last time they did a big Final Fantasy compilation game like that, it was that Final Fantasy pay-to-win game on mobile.
Yeah.
Oh, you want Cloud or Terra? Better pony up some money.
And you can't just buy Cloud or Terra. You have to buy the packs that might have.
You guys, you know what we all need from Final Fantasy? We all need...
In the hands of a better company?
No.
Well, yeah, but...
all we need is triple triad.
I see two people I want to kill.
I'm not sure how it goes from here.
Okay, let's move on, shall we?
As far as a Final Fantasy V remake, though, it needs a remake, not a port, because here's the thing. I was actually head of a translation group back before emulation was really big, trying to translate that piece of shit. And me and my group got so bored doing it, we just stopped.
It's a good thing, too. Final Fantasy V is garbage.
Oh, it was not a good game, let alone a good Final Fantasy game. It was just so...
bland?
Oh, okay, Final Fantasy 2 Japanese and 3 Japanese are pretty bland Final Fantasy games. But 5 makes them look like amazing works of art.
That's funny, especially since 5 had that one character that,
Gilgamesh?
the female Setzer.
Oh, Ferris?
Yeah, and...
If there's a Final Fantasy V remake, there's going to be a scene where Bart accidentally busts through a door and he sees Ferris changing. He's like, holy shit, you're a woman and you have tacos? Give me some of that shit.
But,
I don't know why the tacos
now I
thing...
forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, who's the person that does the art?
Who did the art? That is, Amano.
Amano, there we go. Ferris was his first favorite female that he did until he made Terra. And, so that's why I'm like, how did he make someone so cool looking? Because I've seen her, she's like female Setzer. How is this game? Look at her.
The writers, any...
Triple triad!
I wouldn't... I wouldn't mind seeing remakes of 8 and 9, though.
Oh, 8 needs
9.
one. 8, you know what would be good for 8? All they have
Let's
to
make
do...
it more convoluted with time compression.
I was...
Oh my god, they could do that!
No.
They could start 8 with time being compressed, and it's like you start the game and time gets compressed, and you're like, what the shit is happening? And then they don't explain anything.
No, you know what? And I was talking with friend of the show, Richie, a few months ago.
Thank you for calling him a friend of the show.
You're very welcome. And what he said was, one part that they could just remove, because it was the dumbest bullshit amongst the dumb bullshit, was that they all happened to be in the same orphanage, and raised by...
The same woman.
Yeah, Ida, or whatever his name is.
Ida. Who ended up becoming such an important player in their lives.
And, like, it's actually their, fucking summons that are killing them.
Yeah, the Guardian Forces. A cool plot point. Actually kind of cool. I kind of like the fact that Guardian Forces
they had actually
was actually taking up space in their minds.
I think we wrapped up our E3 more or less.
Continue. You were saying.
No. Time compressed.
Time compressed.
No, no, you didn't say it right. Time compression.
Time compression. Seriously, FF8 was about future sorceresses trying to compress time because...
Russian sorceress.
Shrug!
She was Russian, you said, right?
I don't know what she was. She had K's instead of C's. I'm not sure what that means.
I guess we're going to see a whole bunch more games that didn't make it to E3 at Gamescom in, what, a month?
Sweet.
Shut up.
All right, any more E3 talk? Any more E3 talk?
No, but now I think for David's birthday, I should make like a triple triad deck for him, and you guys could play triple triad.
Make sure the cards are really sharp so I can throw it at Carlos.
It's just 10
Triple
cards.
but triple triad is really fun.
Give me a boss deck where all my cards are all 4 aces.
No.
What if I give you the triple triad for like in Final Fantasy 14 where they have like Terra as a triple triad card and
They have
stuff
like
like
every
that?
major Final
I never
Fantasy
played
character.
Triple Triad for
It's the same game.
14.
It's the same game.
Do you know what the song for Triple Triad is?
Shut it. I will stab you with my straw.
We should probably touch upon these other video game related topics before we move on. Fallout Shelter, Bethesda's crappy mobile game, knocks Candy Crush from the top spot on iTunes. Here to explain why this is important is Dave.
I simply put this in here because I was glad to see Candy Crush finally removed from the top.
Excellent.
That's a piece of shit game.
Excellent. Apparently, the Deus Ex writers were talking about a mechanical apartheid in their next Deus Ex game, and people were talking about how it's insensitive to like the real world apartheid that happened in Africa and whatnot. You linked us an article about it, and the Deus Ex devs were trying to explain that this is supposed to be a challenging topic in their games, and it's really no different than any time any game tries to, or any film tries to tackle difficult topics, like, I don't know,
The Holocaust.
like X-Men and racism, for instance, or the Holocaust, or any kind of mass murder of people for no good reason, which happens a lot. And there was a Marvel character named Holocaust for the longest time, actually.
I added this one in here because I understand that there are triggers for people. I understand that.
Uh-huh.
But it doesn't mean that certain things shouldn't be referenced or talked about or used in subject matter.
I agree.
That's the whole reason I put that in there. It's just some people are being too sensitive and going after them because, you shouldn't do too soon kind of thing.
Well, there's certainly something to be said for including such an element in your narrative when you're not going to do anything with it, and if you're just using it for a laugh or whatever. Like, when Bethesda was, what was it? There was this guy in a dress in the Fallout trailer, and it was kind of played up for laughs, and it was a very minor scene. It's minor. Of all the crimes Bethesda has committed, that's one of the less egregious ones.
They were saying that you can do whatever you want with your character, including put him in a dress.
No, I realize, but they were playing it for laughs, whereas the old Fallout games wouldn't have done that. And it's kind of how, transgenderism is still seen as this joke. Like, something like that we should be moving away from, because there's no commentary when you just make fun of it. There might be commentary if you talk about how it being a joke is kind of part of the plot. Otherwise, no. This, I don't see the issue, honestly. So, I think Deus Ex is fine to tackle a topic that's like the real world, because that's kind of the point of Deus Ex, right? So
that has been from the very beginning. It is talking about this scenario happening in a kind of a real life setting.
Sure.
Question, you guys, now that you mentioned that, what about in Final Fantasy VII with the whole cross-dressing thing? How's that going to go down?
It's still there. They even showed it. They even showed a bit of a CG scene with Cloud and Drag. So that whole scene is going to happen. I think people forget that in FF7 that was played for laughs too. It wasn't a progressive thing. Cloud getting hit on by Don Corneo was purely a joke. It was a joke. It was there so that you could see, so that you could, like, mock this a bit. It's kind of like the date with Barrett. The date with Barrett was a big joke. It was a big joke. It could have been serious, but it wasn't. Like, the dates with Tifa, Eris, and Yuffie are a lot more heartfelt, right? Like,
mm-hmm.
Barrett himself is a bad stereotype, and that they're just gonna remind us of when they do this remake, unless they use the opportunity to update that. Perhaps they will.
I think that they should just make a CG version of Mr. T with a Gatling gun.
So you put this article here about women in gaming, and I read through it, and it's a Destructoid article about how in E3 a lot more female playable characters, but there's still a lot more work to do. And yeah, I agree with it. It's the Destructoid article is called "You Play Like a Girl," and that's a good thing, or something to that effect. But I mean, yeah, like, there needs to be more. Like, I remember when we were live tweeting, you were like, "Do you gotta complain that every game stars a dude?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
No, I didn't.
Every single one. You said something to that effect, or when I retweeted someone saying it, like, "Oh, look, another white guy," and I retweeted it, and you said something like, "Oh man, not every game needs to have some kind of protagonist who isn't a white guy," which is technically true.
You won't find a tweet from me like that.
Yeah, but you said that to me while we were doing it.
I simply pointed out that the other guy,
Virender Jupal, he is a very delightful man on Twitter.
And I follow him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a nice guy. But it was like every single game, it was not a person of color.
No.
Every single game.
And he's right. He's right. He is right to point that out, because there's still a lot more to do. We need more women in games. We need more people of color in games. We need more non-white, non-male, non-heterosexuals in our protagonist slots and as important characters.
I just wanted to say, when I was younger, I remember telling Carlos anytime he would introduce me to a new game. Every time. I don't know if you remember this, Carlos, but I was always like, is there a girl that I can play?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a girl that I can play? Is this a girl? Can I play as a girl?
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to point that out.
I mean, for Dishonored. The Dishonored trailer that came out.
For Dishonored 2. Yes.
The first thing I was saying, even before they started showing the characters, I'm like, it'd be awesome if I could play as a woman. Specifically, I said the one girl's name, and all of a sudden, yeah, she's a person you can play in the game. It's like, good.
Yeah, it's important to have these, not just for women, which is important. We need more women in games and making games and playing games, but also for men who either want to play the non-standard protagonists, or who want to or need to, because a lot of dudes are like, man, why would I ever play a girl? And these are probably the same dudes who are like, man, I think Gamergate's a great thing. You know, like, more men need to be understanding that there's more than just their perspective in the world. And there are men like me who just want to play as more women and more characters who aren't the norm, so... Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alright, folks, shall we move on to voicemails?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Carlos and Dave. I've got a question just for you. Do you like musicals? I suspect that Carlos will say no and Dave will say yes, but I'm pretty curious. The reason why I assume that Dave will say yes is that in moments of serious questions of taste, Dave usually comes through. Okay then, well, thank you and see you.
That's actually interesting, because...
Rowan, you're awesome.
But he was wrong this time. That's what's so funny.
Oh,
hey,
wants to be a cat.
Don't.
Because the cat's the only cat.
Ho?
Who knows where it's
I will
at.
smack you in the face right now. Right now.
Everybody takes a swing. You can't swear with a horn. Takes you
No!
never born.
Carlos, what's wrong? You've taken off your glasses and you're squinting.
Are you sad that Rowan has no faith in you?
A little bit. I just want to point out that Dave likes Sword Art Online, and so many terrible things. How is he seen as the reasonable one?
Well, you say I'm the reasonable one all the time, so you're right.
I'm playing you. I have purposes and goals that I need you as a puppet for.
Uh-huh.
Here's the thing, Rowan. You got it right in the sense that you got it completely wrong. I think musicals are dandy and great, and anytime Dave sees that something's a musical, his enthusiasm immediately deflates. Music is something that I like to hear. I love when a song comes up in something. When South Park ended up being a musical, I was delighted, and Dave was horrified
What
until
are
he
you
realized
talking about?
until he realized that it wasn't terrible. Then he was delighted too.
Okay.
I remember taking you to the theater, and you were like, "Oh my god, this is a musical."
You weren't there with me.
Yes, I'm the one who invited you.
I was there with my parents.
Yeah, they were there too. We saw them in the theater.
As far as musicals go, Rowan, I'm actually a fan of a number of them. It's not something I actually go looking for, but I don't actively not look for musicals.
No, he actively doesn't look for musicals.
There's a number of the ones I like. There's a number that I don't like.
Do you like Disney ones?
Yes. Oh yeah. I when I watch a Disney film,
You're expecting.
I'm expecting. I go in with the expectation that this is a musical. A movie that I went in not knowing that it was a musical. Sweetie Todd.
Which one?
Oh, isn't that the
That's the one with
the Killer Barber?
the Killer Barber. Yeah,
Johnny Depp?
Johnny Depp's version. I went into that. The trailers didn't show any of that, and it's like, oh, it's a musical, and it doesn't suck. Okay, we're good.
Now, I'm pretty sure that you started running out of the theater, and whoever you were with probably tackled you and
Saw
brought you
my
back to
own.
your seat. I'm pretty sure that other people then tackled you and brought you back to your seat.
But you're definitely right, Rowan. I do have way more taste. So
Yeah.
moving on.
Yeah, that's proven untrue all the time!
Only in your mind, Carlos. Only in your mind.
He-Man is still the best song ever. One of my best.
It's a pretty good song. Like, does he not watch the anime rave? Like, jeez.
Aha! So now it's Poe's turn to send a voicemail. Anyway, I just noticed something. I came to a realization. When I was getting myself pumped to do the little Babar Trigun story, I watched the Babar intro, and I just realized something. Babar's wife, Celeste, has tusks. Now, I don't know if I'm right or wrong on this, but don't female elephants usually not have tusks? Does this mean that either A, Celeste is a rare offshoot mutation, and like 1 out of every 100 elephants female elephants have tusks, so that they can better protect their young and gore enemy poachers? Or was Babar pushing the LGBT agenda and having a happy family with 4 adopted children? Or C, am I just overthinking this?
Paul, how would you answer that question?
I think I may have been overthinking on this, but I swear to God, I've always thought for the longest time that female elephants don't have tusks.
Did you look it up?
I forgot to do that.
Why wouldn't you look it up before you asked your question?
Because I remember seeing all these pictures of elephants when I was younger, and all the female elephants never have tusks.
Oh, for the love of God. I should just Google your answer right now.
I like to think that Babar was in a healthy relationship with a transgender elephant woman. I think Babar
Who is his second cousin?
I think Babar is that progressive. Babar
Was she his second cousin?
She was
Babar
actually-
is not a bigot. Babar, I'm saying Babar so many times.
I'm
considering-
I'm pretty sure that it was just simply a monarchy that was very conservative.
I have an answer. For the African elephants, tusks are present in both males and females and are around the same length in both sexes, reaching up to 3 meters, in brackets 10 feet.
There you go.
But those of males tend to be thicker. In the Asian species, only the males have larger tusks. Female Asians have very small ones or none at all.
Oh, okay, I get it now.
Hang on, but does Babar take place?
No,
Are they modeled are they modeled after African elephants or Asian elephants?
I'm
Posted African.
very sure it's African based on the show.
Yeah.
Not counting the times that I know that Babar was taken away from his homeland of Africa, raised in England or some other place,
Yeah.
and then brought back to Africa to become the sapient king of elephants.
Next voicemail.
I choose to believe that he's an Asian elephant. Say it.
Racist.
Hey Carlos, hey Dave, it's Meowth, an engineer. I saw the mini Nintendo Smash Brothers Direct with Sakurai, and I liked it. It was a fun time despite people complaining about the leaks that happened. Like, basically, Roy and Ryu got leaked literally the day before the Direct, so that was rather unfortunate. But it wasn't that bad because literally Sakurai said that all the stuff that he announced is available on the eShop. So it wasn't that bad. I mean, despite, like, knowing the day before the Direct, it's not bad considering they had the stuff, like, out, like, right after their announcement, so that's awesome. Unlike with some announcements, they like to announce stuff and then have you wait a month or something. That's pretty silly. But anyways, I'm happy that Ryu and Roy are in Smash. I know Carlos is probably super, super happy because Roy is in Smash. Anyways, apparently Steven Universe is gonna get more episodes this week, confirmed by Cartoon Network. And are you guys gonna do anime raves on the new Steven Universes when they come out online, or are you just gonna wait until they're all out and then rave them whenever you got time to?
Well, that was a random swerve.
Yeah, it was random swerve. We have anime raves recorded for all the Steven Universe episodes up to and including the new episode that came out on Wednesday. We still have to watch Thursdays and Fridays. It's just a matter of that, I do the editing for them and I'm very behind. They'll come out when they come out. We are doing them. I'll try it. I do want to crank up production. I may get some bionic enhancements to help me with that. We'll see what goes on. I'm happy Roy's in Smash, but someone here is even happier than I am.
Me! I am ecstatic that he's back. Oh my god, everyone would make fun of me. Oh, well, he's not in Bros, so clearly he wasn't popular. Oh my god. And
one of the most requested characters was Roy to bring
right?
him back.
I'm like, and seriously? Really? Nobody liked Roy? Shut up!
It doesn't surprise me that Roy was so popular. I mean, everybody needs a ghetto Marth.
Except you motherfucker. Except Roy is better than Marth in every way. Every way. Except that his girlfriend's probably not as hot as Marth's girlfriend.
I mean, we got Marth. We got Femme Marth. Why do we need Roy?
I would have been okay with keeping Lucina in and just dropping Marth. But I also would have been okay with keeping Falco and Wolf in and dropping Fox, so...
You really don't like Fox.
No, not at all. Go on.
Oh, fuck. What was I talking about? Roy is amazing. You shut the fuck... I need to...
We got Ryu. Why do we need Roy?
I need to start playing that game again just so I can kick your fucking ass. Because you pissed me off for the last time tonight. Even though this is the first time you pissed me off.
I guess that means I'm gonna have to come over one day. We're gonna actually have to play Smash.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
Yeah, we're gonna have to actually, get some... I do have some 4-player adapters, so we've got some GameCube controllers.
I need to practice again. I haven't played Smash in
ages.
Roy's a lot of fun. They diversified him a bit more. He actually, for a lot of his swings, he holds his sword reverse grip, just like he did in his own game. Since neither Marth nor Lucina uses the old shield breaker animation, this means Roy's Flare Blade animation, which was just a copy of shield breaker, is now a unique animation, so it's like he has something of his own. Blazer, the up B, is ridiculously strong.
Be afraid, motherfucker!
And it explodes at the end, and you can make it go horizontal for a surprising distance. It never fails to break a Smash Ball. Ever. Like, it is just a ridiculously strong move. And Roy has, he's borrowed a few things from Mike. He's got Ike's Meteor Smash in the air.
Did you say Mike?
I don't care.
Did.
Yeah, maybe I said Mike. From Mike, they know that Fire Emblem character, Mike.
I know. Mike, that's from WarioWare.
Roy's counter is just as strong as Ike's, though it doesn't last as long. And Roy is still a speedy fucker, although he still can't wall jump, which a little sad, but Ryu is surprisingly a lot of fun and plays pretty well as well.
I will give them credit, even though I haven't been really that enthused for Smash Brothers this or last gen. But it's nice to see them actually going with DLC and adding in more characters beyond just the basic group they decided to put in.
Now, all they need is my baby Pichu. That's all they need.
The Adventure of Pikachu.
I want Pichu, though.
Yeah, they need Pichu, and they need Young Link, and then the group from
They
Melee
already have Young Link.
Toon Link is not Young Link.
What's the difference?
People would probably be happy if Snake came back.
Oh yeah, we're missing Snake. We're also missing Snake.
That's true.
Oh, wow.
I really like. I loved playing Snake. After they took away Roy, I was just like, give me Snake. Fuck.
We are missing Snake. Smash Brothers Direct, fun stuff. Steven Universe. These new episodes
Are amazing.
like the first new one is one of the best episodes of anything I've ever seen, and made me go on social media and say, I think Steven Universe is my favorite piece of fiction out of anything I've seen. And I mean that. Steven Universe is that good. And the 2 new episodes we saw were both still really good. And the last one we saw it had a good message about consent and about forcing people to do things against their will. And I was like, how does Rebecca Sugar manage to put all these messages and development in her show? And some shows just can't do it and are way longer than 11 minutes each. I don't get it. I don't get how talented she is, man.
So, Inuyasha, the final act ended on Adult Swim as of June 13th, 2015. Well, it ended on Toonami, technically, but Toonami and Adult Swim are kinda unanimous now. But anyways, Inuyasha, the whole show in general is pretty good, in my opinion. It's not, like, super long, like Naruto, and it's got decent characters, I guess. I mean, the girls do more than girls in, like, say, Bleach or Naruto or One Piece, even. Maybe just Naruto. I mean, at least Rukia Kuchiki does stuff in Bleach. Compare that to Sakura Haruno, that's no contest. Anyways, Inuyasha, that show was good. I liked it. I liked the whole show. I mean, the plot was kind of repetitive, but that's the thing with shonen anime. I liked it overall. It's not bad. It's not good by any means, but it did a lot. I know people like to call the girls Dragon Ball Z. I don't know why, but they do. But anyways, yeah, my thoughts with Inuyasha was that it was a great show. And I kinda wish SAO2 didn't decide to rear its ugly head right when Inuyasha was getting to the good parts. But that's a story for another day. Anyways, did you guys ever watch Inuyasha?
My favorite parts in Inuyasha, when I watched it, were the parts where he got thrown into the present era and he was like, what the fuck is this thing? Or, this place is weird, or, what's a TV?
Did he have a comedic encounter with a dildo?
No, but he did go to Kagome's school once.
See, I don't remember too much of Inuyasha. I do remember trying to watch it and being bored to tears.
Naraku was just one of those villains who just doesn't die. No matter how many times he's killed, he just doesn't die for good.
So he's Wesker?
No, Wesker died for good.
Wesker was way cooler than Naraku.
Yes, exactly.
And he did die for good at the end of Resident Evil.
I think Wesker should have been the villain of Inuyasha. Not someone like Wesker. Actually, Albert Wesker.
That'd be so funny.
The power of the Shikon Jewel. It will be mine.
I'm probably the only one here who's seen all of Inuyasha.
I want to once again point out, Rowan, that Dave has seen all of Inuyasha.
Rowan probably has too.
I think I stopped somewhere after the whole Band of Seven bullshit. Like somewhere in the middle of there. I got bored of that.
I really don't remember the rest of Inuyasha.
I've seen it all, including the ending, and it ended.
Yeah.
Yay.
It ended.
That's just how I felt with Naruto.
So did she end up with him?
Yes.
Did they have kids?
Are they? No. Did he go to the present, or she stayed in the past?
Ended
past.
Oh.
Did they just end with those two? Because I know he was obsessed with her past self.
Oh, Kikyo.
Yeah. He was obsessed
She
with
died.
her. I know.
Permanently.
How many times?
No, as in she was finally gone. She
finally. I like how you said the word finally. Like,
no,
she died like 4 times.
So
and she was apparently a goddamn bitch.
So wait, let me get this.
She got better.
Wait, let me get. Let me get this straight. So Kagome and Inuyasha are a thing now. For the ending, they're a thing. She's staying in the.
We're losing Carlos.
She stayed in the past with Inuyasha, right?
Whoa.
What the fuck is her family thinking about all this?
Whoa, she stayed in the past? I thought he stayed...
No, she...
Is Kagome her own grandmother?
No.
That's how Tsubasa was.
Was Kikyo Kagome's good
No.
distant ancestor?
Oh, yeah, Kikyo was.
I think I remember something about that.
Yeah, Kikyo was. I remember that.
So,
Sakura.
yeah, her parents, her family must be worried. Where the fuck is our daughter?
They're not, because ending was she went back to the future, spent a couple years, couldn't go back to the past anymore, and then the gateway opened up and her family was okay. Her heart was back in the past. So she went.
Wow.
Done.
Okay, well that explains that. Hey, you know what I
So,
don't feel
Meowth, I actually liked Inuyasha at certain points.
Talk over him when he does that crap.
about what?
What he just did.
You know what? I just hope that nobody mentions Tsubasa Chronicle, because I could go on a rant for minutes.
no. Well, we don't need to open that can of beans just yet.
I'm guessing ours is more likely I've heard you
Tell
call
him the
that.
part where Sakura and
No.
Sharon are their own parents.
Of course, no, that's gonna take 20 minutes to explain.
Oh.
I don't
by the
want
way,
to
I
get
didn't.
in there.
I didn't make that up. This isn't like a whole Sora is
No,
his
no,
own
no.
father thing from Kingdom Hearts.
No,
they really are their own parents.
They actually are their own. Oh my god!
I know.
Oh yeah, you read that too.
I read the
'Cause-
wiki.
Oh, you read the Ricky. See, when I was reading the fan translation, or not the fan, the translation before it actually gets printed.
Yeah.
I skipped ahead trying to piece it together, and then I was like, oh my god, no. This is the explanation. If people want to hear me rant about it, I'll do it next time. I won't do it right now. But the point is, for Meowth, Carlos doesn't like Inuyasha. I was bored to tears, but I remember bits and pieces. David's seen the whole thing, and Poe remembers half of it.
It was okay.
Next.
There is no next.
There is no next. We're done with voicemails.
Next topic.
There is no topic.
No, there are a couple more topics, but we'll blow through them really quick because, unfortunately, not everyone here has seen Jurassic World, and I crossed out one of them that Dave's going to still bring up. The TV and movie section that keeps TV and movies out of the game section. Jurassic World sucked hardcore.
And yet there are people all over the world who are like, oh, this is the best thing ever.
There was literally a scene where the two brothers are like, Mom and Dad are gonna get divorced, aren't they?
Are they
never came up again.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The older brother
David, you seem
left
so unenthused.
the older brother left a girlfriend at home and kept awkwardly trying to be a creeper at girls at Jurassic Park
Yep.
for no reason. It's like an old person who doesn't know what they're doing wrote a teenager. After the awesomeness of Mad Max Fury Road, this movie was garbage. Especially when we have like women in high heels doing badass things. The badass guy coming in doing nothing, getting saved by that woman, and the kids being like, "Oh man, he's badass. We want to be protected by him."
Even though
It was like it was a casually sexist action film as well. Like it was garbage.
Give Chris Pine the fact that he was he was the best character in that movie, probably.
Sure, and he was still garbage. He did what he could.
Yeah.
He got killed by
So did she.
dinosaurs.
Well, that would have been cool. The whole movie is, it feels like a bad B-movie.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like Prometheus, in that Prometheus was this highly touted successor to what is already an overrated sci-fi franchise, and it's actually garbage. This is what Jurassic World feels like. Jurassic Park franchise is overrated as shit and not really that special. And this was just a bad entry in an already overrated series. It's trash. It was boring. I kind of wanted to leave. There were times I debated asking you, do you just want to leave?
It was frustrating is what it was.
Wow.
It was frustrating to watch because it's like, are they really doing this? Are you fucking doing this?
What about the trained raptors? The raptor training was fine. The guy, Chris Pine's character, was using treats and a clicker, which I thought was funny, to train the raptors. Okay, so I get that they don't attack him because they see him as one of their own, though they did the stupid alpha explanation,
Yeah.
which I hate. But then, the one evil, stereotypically evil military guy was like, we'll use the trained raptors to hunt Indominus Rex. They're unproven, untested, we're gonna let them out into the field, because we want to take them to the Middle East. And then later
He's not joking either.
Later there's a scene where that guy's cornered in a in a room by a raptor, and he's like, "Don't attack me, guy. We're on the same side." And then the raptor eats his face.
Again, he's not joking.
So why didn't you guys walk out?
There were times when I debated just asking you, "Hey, man, you want to just leave?" But I figured we were closing into the end.
Yeah, here's the thing. I thought the dinosaurs were well done in the movie.
The T-Rex was cool.
The Chris Pine character was good.
The 11th hour T-Rex appearance was cool when they unleashed the T-Rex. Oh, spoilers, by the way. They unleashed the T-Rex to fight Indominus Rex. And then the T-Rex and a raptor reached some kind of weird mutual understanding and started tag teaming the thing. And then it was eaten by a megalodon.
The T-Rex?
The Indominus Rex.
Indominus Rex. Here's the thing. There were some good ideas here, but it was enshrouded by a very thick case of shit. They didn't need to add in the drama. They could have pretty much removed the kids completely.
The character in charge of Jurassic Park, Claire's character, the badass who was never acknowledged for her badassness, by the way. She's like, "I don't want to start a family." And they're like, "You have to start a family. It's what you need to do." And it's like the whole movie is punishing her for not wanting a family by constantly fucking ignoring the fact that she's awesome. The movie is, it's a bad 80s action movie. And it plays all the bad 80s action movie tropes. It is just garbage.
Yeah.
Alright. This section... Good. This section is called... Oh, wait, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah, no, we are.
Fine. This section is called I Hope Dave Senpai Notices Me.
And I hope the Sailor Scouts stop jobbing enough because we're closing in on the last 2 episodes of Crystal. And again, I just hope the Sailor Scouts just stop jobbing.
We're not watching that tonight. I'm not doing that with my evening.
Okay.
Yeah, excellent. I'm just making it very clear.
Dude, we've got,
we got Steven...
B,
we got Blood Blockade
Steven
Battlefront,
Universe.
the mediocre Seraph of the End, and the amazing Steven Universe to watch. We are not watching Sailor Moon.
I was not going to put you through that tonight.
Oh, good.
Or rather, I wasn't putting myself through that tonight.
Oh, you don't care about Crystal anymore.
Well, no, we're still watching.
We need
we're
to
We're finishing the last 3 episodes.
Do you want to
What if there's more after that?
Do you want to just stop? Do you want to just stop?
At that point, we're stopping. We're watching the last 3.
Do you want to just? Do you want to just stop? Do you want to just stop?
Nope.
Do you want, please?
Because
however,
you saw that she kissed her father, right?
Yes.
So that was Poe showed this to me, and I was like, Poe, I haven't seen a lot of these. Why would you do this?
You insisted that I watch this episode of Sailor Moon Crystal in your room because you were getting sleepy.
I was like, I will fall asleep until I realized this garbage did not put me to sleep.
The joke for this topic was, me and Carlos watched the first episode and the first little bit of the second episode of No Game, No Life, and there's an actual dub coming for it. So I was jokingly putting it in, saying that we were going to actually do an anime rave on it.
There is no force on earth that will make me do this.
Is that the one with that girl head banging?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god, that was awful.
Because I had to have this video around to edit it, I saw a little bit further into the second episode, and there's a scene where, I shit you not, the lolly girl and that girl are massaging each other naked in a bath, and I'm like, this is gross. This is gross. This is disgusting, actually.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
So yeah, this was a joke. We're not doing it because, as fun as it is to make you watch bad anime and getting your reaction, it means I'd have to sit through it twice.
You could have the Infinity Gauntlet, manipulating reality such that it is impossible for me to dislike the show. I will break out. The small spark of me will overpower these ancient cosmic forces.
Whoa,
shatter them.
Whoa. You guys are telling me that you fucking stop not even halfway through No Game No Life, but you guys continue to fucking watch Steins Gate. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Yeah, Dave! I asked you to stop!
Why
didn't you stop?
As it did multiple times, is there some ideas in it that he's actually curious about, so we're just continuing.
No!
If you guys really want to cleanse the poison out of your system, I do recommend that show you skipped over for fall 2014 that I can't understand what my husband's saying.
No.
Poe, why don't you ignore this rude asshole's dismissing of your suggestion and continue describing it?
It's that old, 3 minutes, 3 minutes per episode series about that, the female salary worker and her husband who's an otaku. It's 3 minutes episodes each, but it doesn't really paddle on per episode. It's just nice, simple, quirky fun. Well, I think it's fun. Except there are a couple episodes that actually do get pretty dark about how the female salary worker used to have a shitty life, just staying in a dead-end job, and she's like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. When her life really wasn't okay until she met with her future husband.
How did an otaku manage to save her from that? That's the worst thing for me to say.
Yeah.
Just liking anime doesn't make someone terrible.
You
And
know
remember, the reason why we didn't watch it,
because it was only 3 minute episodes.
it was a mini thing.
Yeah.
And I will admit this, even hearing that, it's still not my cup of tea. I think I'm going to pass. Go on.
You know what? You guys should watch Sega Hard Girls.
So you showed me an episode of that little
You guys
Sega
should
short
watch
show.
it.
It's pretty cute. It's pretty funny.
You guys should watch it. I think it's where there's 3 girls: Dreamcast, Saturn, and Genesis. And
They go on adventures in Sega Game Worlds.
Yeah.
basically.
Okay.
You guys need to watch that because it's really funny. The first episode, they go to Virtual Fighter World.
I'm always open to watch new stuff outside of what's new in anime or classics. I mean, I wish we had a little bit more of a user base actually watching these shows. They could actually suggest some shows that I could torture him with.
The last time we got a suggestion, it was No Game, No Life.
I like how he's staring at you. I know people can't see right now, but Carlos is staring at David with a death eye. Complete death eye.
Is that the last suggestion we got? Really?
We have had some others, but I think it was the first one we acted upon.
And the last.
Oh, Lord. We might have some big plans for the channel. Depends on if I get this windfall money I'm going to get or not. And getting a camera and editing the show and videotaping it easier. It means we'll have to show our faces, which is going to suck, because then I'm going to have to wear pants.
Well, you're wearing pants right now.
Yeah, but I don't want to be.
So you'll purposely take off your pants when you're being recorded?
No, but can I?
Place?
No.
Why can't I take off my pants in your house, Dave?
No.
Okay, this is parting thoughts. What are our parting thoughts, everyone?
I'm excited for Digimon.
Yeah!
I'm worried about Digimon.
Yeah!
I'm worried.
I really need to use the facility.
You don't know
Yeah!
I don't know how it's going to come across, the fact that we're not getting a dub. And even if we got a dub, it wouldn't have the same voice actors, because most of them have retired.
Yeah.
And because it doesn't have the original guy,
Jeff Nimoy?
Jeff Nimoy, it's going to be very much boring Japanese version versus awesome English version.
True.
So,
I didn't even think about that.
based on that, I'm expecting a very boring, very dry Digimon trial.
God,
Sad times.
I hope
Sad
Jeff
times.
Nimoy does do something with it. If he's like, yoink.
I don't know if you can legally do that. Alright, that's how we're gonna end it. Folks, thank you so much for listening to us. Our podcast site is twofatguystalk.com. You should also see our Anime Rave show, which is Carl's name, animerave.com. We're on Twitter at twofatguystalk. Our individual Twitters are at handsomefatman for me and at the dude hack for my compatriot Dave. And our guests do not have Twitters, I do not believe.
No.
No? Anything you guys want to plug?
No, not really.
No, nobody ever wants to plug anything.
Not
You can find this on iTunes. Just search for Two Fat Guys Talk on iTunes, and we'll come up. Don't tell Apple what we're talking about on this show, though, because I'm pretty sure they will not approve.
Hey, Carlos and David, your locker is missing.
Jeff Nimoy. Bye, folks.